Hello everybody, my name is TheTfboy, and welcome to a little quick update on Macro, because there's something about him that I recently discovered thanks to Gutsu in his gaming video on Macro. If you guys have seen that, then you probably know what I'm going to talk about, but this is very interesting because I did not know about this Macro, and this makes him actually more overpowered than I thought. Which, you know, I already thought it was quite overpowered to begin with. Okay. So, let me explain this for a second. Okay. His atmospheric optimizer. It increases my damage to shields by 50% or 150 if I'm inside the camouflage field or the ionic scrambler. Correct? Correct. Okay. Now, doing the math on this, if I were to do this on the laser rifle, this would make it, well, 50% increase would make it a 4.5 shield over 3 spark damage, and of course in the ionic scrambler field, that would make it, what's the math on that, a 7.5 shield and 3 spark damage weapon at long range. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about its effects on his other weapons, and that's something I never really realized before, is that it can also affect the shield damage on his grenade launcher and his sword. So essentially, for his sword, doing the math on that, that would make it a, well, 50% would give it a 3-5 spark damage weapon still. Wouldn't increase the shield damage by much, but having the ionic scrambler active with it would make it a 5-5, not omni, because it would still technically be spark and shield because it wouldn't heal mismatch, but it would deal 5 spark and 5 shield damage. Now of course, because it's a sword, the player who you're attacking needs to be in the field with you, which rarely ever happens, just because anyone who knows Macro knows not to stay in that field. The problem is with the grenade launcher. With the grenade launcher, you can make it a 5 shield and 4 spark damage. That includes, and here's the kicker, that includes the damage over time on it. And I think that's where I have a problem with it. That is something I never noticed, especially when playing against Macro players on which way they would spam their grenade launcher on me. It's because they were trying to combine their equipment 2 with 1 or 3, and dealing massive shield damage with the grenade launcher. Let me see if I can show you in perspective about how much damage that is.
Decepticons.
So I'm not going to get into a PvP match, but I really wish there was a tougher enemy around. Like a Reckoner, maybe a Gladiator, or some turrets to show this off. I've got 2 other guys with me, so if I get to the enemy first. Oh, it's just a regular Terragon. Well, never mind then. Alright, but yes, now normally this grenade launcher, I forget how powerful the damage over time is. It honestly depends on the resistance of the bot and how they tune it, but essentially on shield damage that will increase as well.
We can't afford to waste.
Oh, come on. Might as well get this. Yeah. I want to show it in perspective about how much more shield damage you can do with a grenade launcher. But if I don't get the chance, you'll just have to take my word on it. Alright, let's see if we can find somebody.
Something big is about to go down.
Well, that doesn't help me. I need a... Like, the turrets would be quite fantastic. Because I know more than one spawns that I could compare them. But yeah, that's something I never really figured out with macro. I've seen a lot of people use it against myself. I've actually tried it against a mismatch, and it is devastating. Like, once you know that trick, mismatch is dead, and shield is gone in 4 or 5 shots if you apply the level 1 DOT as one of your shots. Or not as one of your shots, but if you just apply the damage over time on it, God, it is just devastating. The damage over time can get into the triple digits with that equipment active, at least as far as I'm aware. I think I had it as like 103 once, which is devastating. And of course the worst part is it stacks as well, so... Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is how much damage it normally does on the Viacons. This is what happens whenever I combine my equipment. Wow, it's actually not doing that much damage. I guess it doesn't really... It's a bad example because there are 2 different types of Viacons. But you could see on him that it showed 150%. Like right next to the damage indicator, it was 150%. That applies to my grenade launcher. So again, what was originally 2 shield damage is now 5 shield damage, which again, devastating. And I just think that's ridiculous, you know, because the grenade launchers is a grenade launcher that has a 5 range, not an 8 range like outside or a flatline, but a 5 range is very good crowd control, especially with that damage over time. And that is just nuts because, I don't know. A lot of people have also been saying that crowd control weapons in this game are just generally overpowered because there are very little counters to them.
I don't like the look of this.
I would agree. Ooh, a Reckoner. Okay, perfect. Let's see if I can get this in perspective and show you guys actual numbers. Alright. There are also 2 Viacons. Okay. So let's see. So normally I'm dealing roughly 88 damage, 97. Okay. Pop this, and I'm dealing 33. That's very weird how it's not showing up on the Terracons. 91. Okay, I'm gonna die if I don't be careful about this. That's actually quite confusing, because... I don't know what to say. I would have thought that would have dealt much more damage, but... I know it works in PvP. I know it does. I've tested it myself. I guess it just doesn't work under Terracons. Which is unfortunate, because this is a really bad example, but... I hope you guys can understand at least what I'm saying. Because it multiplies the amount of shield damage you do, not necessarily based on a shield weapon, because Macro doesn't have a shield-based weapon. Come on. Thank you. Thank you for cooperating. I don't know, I guess it doesn't work on Terracons. Oh well. But again, you could see the little 150% on him. I just couldn't actually see the numbers that would make sense. I don't know. Anyways, that's really all I have to say. So for any macro players that are out there, you know, I'm not against using it, because again, the more often you guys use it, because this is a very a lot of people macro players actually don't know about this. And I figured by spreading the word on it, eventually it will get noticed by the developers more often, and the nerf will eventually happen. Maybe they can change the 4 and 5 so that it only affects the laser rifle. That would be fine to me, honestly. Along with the other changes that I said in my macro video. But yeah. I may take a look at, actually, I've been noticing that Firebreaker has had massive healing. Like, I've seen it go from like half a spark to full spark and shield in just one melee hit. And I don't know if that... I've seen him do it while not being cloaked. And I know the S-Tech on the gloves allows him to heal himself, but I don't know. I'll need to take a look at that. That may be Monday's video if I don't get the Amnesia mod working. I'll need to see. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys found this useful. End stream.